there's a deep knowingness of not knowing that seems to be used as a spiritual bypass to, I know that I don't know, and I am thus superior, who all who don't know, they don't know. Yes, I love when there's honesty and exposure of like, this is what my mind does. My mind buys into this. My mind does this spiritual bypass. Beautiful. I want more of that, of where, here's a little bit of shadow that happens in my character. Please, let's share them, because otherwise our unconscious is going to keep putting a lid on the crappy stuff. And it's like, it's not crappy, it's being human. This is how our mechanism works. And we can all learn from each other to see this is how the mechanism works. So David has shared, there's a deep knowingness of not knowing that seems to be used as a spiritual bypass. And it goes like this. I know that I don't know, and I am thus superior to all who don't know. They don't know. It's great. It's great. Spiritual superiority is quite a thing, isn't it? And so cultivate humility, David. Cultivate humility. Do you know one guy who has that nailed as the Dalai Lama? He's a good example. And way back on my spiritual path, before I didn't physically meet the Dalai Lama, but I went to a course that he was giving in Scotland. But before that, I was like, that guy doesn't know much. I mean, it's very basic, the stuff he's talking about. Okay, fine. He, lifetime after lifetime, he inherits being the Pope of Buddhism. All right. And then I went to a talk and I'm like, oh, okay. This guy doesn't need to give deep spiritual teachings. He can talk about loving his neighbor. He can talk about the lightest, simplest things with no need to address people might think, which was me, people might think I'm a simpleton, that I've got no depth and no spiritual wisdom. No part of him was editing his own thinking processes or presentation in order to invest in how he would be received. That kind of authenticity, that's humility. There it is. There it is. And so honoring the seat of wisdom that you have attained, it's like, I know that I don't know. Now I'm going to live from there. So the moment that you've left it and you're assessing where somebody else is at, if you're using that in order to bolster yourself up, well, that's not the I don't know place. It's not. It's not. It's not. Let's see. I'd like, okay, talking about the Dalai Lama, a Buddhist thing might be, well, have compassion for those. Swap out the superior complex for compassion. You can try that. But my approach right now is like, notice it. Here's the superiority complex. Wow, I'm in separation again. That's what that's doing. So I've left the I don't know, and my mind is using it to feel superior because I obviously feel inferior. I obviously have something to heal because I'm not good enough right now. And I need to have a spiritual sentence to prop me up so that I am good enough. What's that about? Go in there and heal that. Go in there and heal that. And cultivate humility to where, however I am received, I no part of me wants to compare me to others. No part of me is interested in supporting that level of separation anymore. So it's about seeing through the refuge that your mind has said is available in the superiority complex. There's a feel-good factor there, huh? There's a feel-good factor there, but all it's doing is covering a wound, because our mind needs a feel-good factor when there's something painful that we don't want to see. So a superiority complex is always a camouflage for an inferiority complex, for I'm not enough. So that's where we go. And that will be keeping alive the subject-object perception and the feel-good factor when I go to a superiority complex. So this is why I'm at the moment not advocating. I can't say I don't, because, you know, I could be doing it in 6 months' time. At the moment, I'm not advocating have compassion for the other person. I'm like, hey, heal your wound. Heal your wound. That gives you some kind of nice feeling for knowing more than. You are everybody. You are everybody. Like, you are everything. Having experiences of being beautiful and asshole-ish. I mean, we do the full spectrum. What you are is doing all of it. You're doing all of it. But to promote division and set one part against another, it's like, my right hand is going to have an attitude about my left hand. That's the kind of thing that our mind will do. You are all of it. You are those who don't know.